Liam Byrne, our local member of parliament, said earlier on. Unlike Liam, I didn't know Jo Cox. I didn't know this amazing individual who lost her life so tragically earlier this afternoon. But many people in this room, including Tariq, Javed and many others, had a lot in common with Jo. And I think there's another message. Jahan, Salim and others talked about politicians. Political life is immensely short, and we need to bear one thing in mind, and that is the legacy of Jo Cox. Jo was only a member of parliament for just over 1 year. Members of parliament have come and gone, councillors have come and gone, cabinet members have come and gone. It's not the position you hold, it's what you actually do and the passion that you have. And the passion that Jo Cox had, she wanted to support the most needy within our community. She wanted to support the most vulnerable in society. She did that while she worked for Oxfam, and she certainly did that when she represented the people of Yorkshire. She was the biggest and strongest supporter of the Syrian refugees. She was the chair of the all-party parliamentary group on Syria, and she spoke for the plight of the Syrian peoples louder than anybody else in that parliament. She was a supporter of the Palestinians. She was a supporter of the most vulnerable in society. And that is a legacy. And that is what each and every one of us should remember. We're not going to be councillors, cabinet members, members of parliament, ministers of state forever. Political life is very, very short. It's what you contribute to society. Brothers Tariq, Javed and their families and friends do not hold political position. I think somebody said earlier, nobody knew them before they started this project. I didn't know them, I'm going to be honest with you. But the contribution they've made to this city and the most vulnerable in this city is second to none. And they are the role models that each and every one of us should be selling. When I read the statement from Brendan Cox, the husband of Jo Cox, it reminded me of Tariq Jahan, our brother Tariq Jahan. In the face of adversity, in the most challenging time you can ever have, you've just lost one of your loved ones in the most tragic circumstances, but you send a very strong message. A message which says, against the hate and division of those behind that tragic incident, we want to promote tolerance, love, peace and harmony. And we want to promote unity and offer hope to all those who seek to divide us. And I think that is incredibly impressive. Today has been a very, very challenging day for that family, but that is a very clear and concise message that they've sent. The other thing I want to quickly talk about, because I know time is against us. I came into politics to create a fair and equal society. And it is that fair and equal society that we all strive to live in. And in an ideal world, in an ideal Birmingham, in a fair and equal Birmingham, we wouldn't need these sort of projects. And brothers Tariq and brothers Javed can spend more time with their loved ones, with their families. But the reality is, we live in a city, we live in the second most unequal city, in the second most unequal country across this continent. And that is the reality of our challenge. And homelessness is one inequality. You look at the health inequalities. The ward I represent and live in, Lascelles and East Handsworth Ward, has the lowest male life expectancy of anywhere in this city. That is a challenge for me as an elected member that I wake up to every morning, because I not only serve that as a public servant, serve the ward as a public servant, I also live in that ward. So I think these are the challenges, and let's be honest, Salim said earlier, we've got people here. I'm grateful, and I just want to mention that there's a number of colleagues of mine also in this very hall, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of them too. The reality is, these inequalities are a challenge for each and every one of us. And until we do not create that fair and equal society, unless we do not address those inequalities, we're not doing our jobs properly. Earlier this week, because the equality portfolios landed on my desk, I instructed the officers to create a 40-ward equality strategy. Equality does not just sit in the inner city areas. Equality, unfortunately, sits in some of the outer neighbourhoods too. And it's important that we seek to address those inequalities, just as we seek to address the inequalities within our inner city wards. So Birmingham needs to get its act together and start looking at the inequalities in King's Standing, Sheldon, Chardin, Longbridge, just as much as we have to look at the inequalities in Washford, Lascelles, Handsworth, Aston, Newtown and other areas. And that is the challenge that I've set the officers. And during the next 12 months, if I survive this if I survive 12 months, because it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride in the first few weeks already, my job will be to challenge Ansar Ali Khan as a district chair here in Hodghill district, and how he's addressing the inequalities along with his colleagues Mariam Khan and Mohammed Idris. I will also challenge the cabinet member for Clean Streets, Lisa Trickett, and how she's addressing the inequalities within her portfolio in this city. I will also be challenging the soon to be appointed assistant leaders and members, elected members right across that chamber, because addressing inequalities, addressing the issues of homelessness that brothers Tariq and Javed and everybody else have to pick up should become a priority for a Labour administration that John Clancy is running in Birmingham. And that is the task that we need to take forward. In 12 months' time, if we haven't closed the gaps of poverty, if we haven't closed the gaps of inequality in the city, we do not deserve to be running this city. And as voters in this city, you need to be holding us to account to understand and ensure that you hold us to account on whether we're addressing those inequalities or not. Finally, I'd like to pay tribute to the team. You are role models. I've seen other communities and other groups who've got up on the back of what you're doing and followed suit. And I always say sharing good practice and copying good things is positive. I'm incredibly proud to call you friends, and I'm pretty sure I speak on behalf of the council, and I also give apologies on behalf of the leader who unfortunately can't be here. On New Year's night, when me and the leader walked across the city centre, we realised two things. One is the homeless are increasing in our city, and two, we've got fantastic step-up citizens like you, Javed, and many others who are stepping up and helping the most needed, the most vulnerable in society. Our support is with you and will remain with you. If there's anything we can do, we're not doing you a favour, we're here to serve you, and we will do that. I'd like to thank... Finally, can I say to the two young girls, Iman and... I'm sorry, I forgot the other young girl's name, Muskan. You, in a city in the youngest city in Europe, where young people constantly get fingers pointed at them, you are the best two role models for this city and the best two role models for young people in the country. And I salute you. Thank you.